Hello all, Marty T. Hawkins with you here at Warehouse and Operations as a Career. I just noticed that we're almost at a milestone. This is going to be episode 299. We'll have 300 episodes out there next week. Today, WAOC is out and about. We're at a great event being hosted by Belmar Integrated Logistics. They are having a career talk open house. We have career coaches here, powered industrial truck trainers, and I think the most important thought is we're here to answer some questions. That might be a little loud, so don't hate on the audio today. Well, let's go ahead and we'll just dive into today's show and see what we get. So earlier this week, I read a post on a Dallas Facebook job board. A young lady stated that she had completed and turned in over 100 applications and hadn't received a call back. I have a few comments on that. Y'all know I don't have a problem sharing an opinion here and there. Okay, so why or how can a person put in so many applications and not get a call back? Not one call back. I sat down and wrote out a few thoughts on the subject. First, is it my resume? I don't put a lot of stock into resumes myself. Now, don't get me wrong, it's important, but I don't get hung up on its structure or its formats. To me, it's all about the content. I look at how long you were at a company. Did you learn or work at 2 or 3 different positions, increasing your value to your employer? Then I'm going to be interested in any warehouse equipment or production or manufacturing machines that you were responsible for. What else? Oh, and this makes me think about all those certificates that you can get on Indeed. You know, they're great, and I really do like them. And you should take as many, as you'd like, but don't list more than 5 or 6, maybe 7 on your resume. It doesn't do anything for you and only increases the number of pages of your resume. No one is going to read all 3 pages of a resume. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. Create a resume and list your work history. This is your shot. We have to get the hiring agents to read it. Next, replying interested on a Facebook job advertisement is going to do nothing for you. If the recruiter or agency listed a phone number, call it. If the ad states it's okay to text it, feel free to do so. When an email is listed, send them a message. If an application link is posted, by all means use it and start that application process. And by the way, if the ad says DM or PM me, it is not worth your time. I'm not going to say they're all a scam, but that's not how a hiring agent or recruiter is going to recruit. Here's a quick fact supported by many conversations with recruiters. A recruiter receives 50 to 100 resumes or work histories for every ad that they post. Recruiters do not have the time to reach out to an interested comment. Let's see, another thing, and not that I'm in agreement with it, but our social media can and has helped and hurt our chances of getting employed. I feel like we create our social media profiles really for our friends, not necessarily for ourselves. I recommend not posting anything you wouldn't want your grandmother or 11-year-old child to see. I've mentioned a couple of times before a guy that lost a hiring opportunity because of a cannabis leaf that he had on his profile. And what made it so funny is, and he was living a drug-free life. He just put it on there because his friends, he thought it would be cool. Anyway, let's go forward. I kind of got lost. So moving on, what else could affect us getting those callbacks? Let's see. Here's one. Did you double check that your contact info is correct? Did you get the right number and email address on there, or phone number, email address? Are you answering the phone when it rings? In today's world, we tend to screen our calls. I urge you to take the call if you can. Oh, and if you do not have your voicemail set up, you are not going to get that job. Oh, hey, I just looked up and saw Corey walk in. You may remember Corey. He's been on 5 or 6 shows with us. I first met Corey when he was an unloader at Altoona, Pennsylvania. Then again in the nearby town of Greensburg, PA as a lead. He then moved to Texas and actually worked for one of my accounts and now is a star sourcing specialist with Belmar. Hey, Corey, come on over here, dude.
Marty, how you doing, sir? I heard your topic and I'm very excited. I'd like to share on it a little bit. Do you mind?
I would actually love it. I'm glad that you showed up here today. Let's talk a little bit about, in your eyes, being a sourcing specialist. How does today's topic kind of resonate with you?
A couple of things that gets me into a candidate is knowing who, what, when, and where. I introduce myself in the organization, and my first question consists of, I received your application for the position title. Was you able to see the job description? And the bad response would be, I applied for a lot of places. Can you tell me a little bit about the job or job description? A great response. I did see the job description. I have the experience on the equipment and I'm good with that shift. The pay rate is good for me. And then be prepared. When you're finally called into that interview, you want to be prepared. You want to have your 2 forms of ID and anything else that you're required to bring with the job description. If there's a safety class after the interview, you want to go and make sure you have the right PPE for that safety class. If you're going to be on equipment, have your steel-toe boots. Don't wait until it's time to show up and say, hey, I forgot.
No, that's really good information. And, you know, I kind of commented a couple of minutes before you showed up. What does replying interested to one of your job ads do? I mean, I know you're getting 50 or 60 resumes for everything that you post. Do you even have the time to look at the word interested, or do you just bypass that person?
That's one of the things that it's good to grow the account, the group, or whatever you're posting on, but unfortunately, as a recruiter, there are so many other avenues that you got to check, and interested, unfortunately, is not one of them. You got to think we're posting on multiple job boards, and to see that is good to show that people are interested. But in the same sense, it doesn't give it enough information for me to know, hey, reach out to this person; they want a job.
That's exactly the way I feel. And another, I'm not going to say pet peeves, but things that I don't necessarily agree with, and I'm not sure that I understand why. But I'm told that 80% of the time a recruiter will go check your social media profiles. Profiles can really kind of determine whether you're going to follow up or not. And as a quick example, I was given last week. Guy was applying for a pallet runner position, which, as you know, is going to be PIT certified. Needs to be drug-free and everything. When the recruiter went to their Facebook profile, they was actually, appeared to be maybe partaking in the cannabis a little bit, and so the recruiter just moved on without going forward. Do you believe that today's candidate understands to clean up that Facebook while we're looking for a job?
In general, I feel like your public appearance just needs to be clean. You don't want your family members or somebody that you care about, or if you're young, growing up, when you get older, seeing things that are inappropriate on your social media. That stuff's there forever. If you delete it, lose the password, it could still be dug up. Somebody could have screenshot it. So just being clean in public is just, to me, a good way.
I agree 100%. Today's event at Belmar Integrated Logistics over at their recruiting office is really just kind of a Q&A, or question and answers. How do you get into this industry? We have a lot of people coming out of fast food or even the restaurant business because it's just not stable. It's a lot of work for few hours. Retail, we see a lot of people coming out of the retail world trying to get into our industry. I believe that transition can easily be made if you just ask questions, and if you're very distinct as a candidate telling what you want. Do you feel that transition can be made smoothly by communicating?
Absolutely. Be upfront about everything. Like on resumes, you'll see a lot about job history. Be accurate about times at jobs. If you was at a job and it says you have 6 of them that are listed as June to present, or and then July to present, or November to present, just be accurate. Make sure you're updating your resume. Make sure you're being vocal and sharing the things that were not shared on the resume that you feel are important to that job and job description. And also be sure and tell them, the recruiter, the skills that you have for the position you're applying for. So they know what to let the facilities manager know, what you're going to need trained on and what areas you lack. Because a lot of the jobs do offer some training. Now, some want you experienced in coming in, but no matter what job you go to, you're going to have training because it's new systems, new positions. It might be the same title, but you're going to be doing it a different way at a different area.
Those are good points that I hadn't really thought about. One of the things that I've recognized today, of course, as I mentioned, Belmar has pit trainers to talk about equipment. They have a lot of production and manufacturing people here to talk about machine operation. They have some career coaches in the building today helping people. And I kind of realized, looking for a job is different than it used to be. As an applicant, I have to put in some effort. I have to actually try to get a job. Looking for work is hard work, especially these days. I think communication, I want to drive that question towards you again. I know you work hard at digging information out of applicants. Even if I'm a little shy and timid as an applicant, should I come and just start throwing up, different situations that I've lived to where maybe you can get a clearer idea of what I'm after, what I'm looking for?
That's one of the biggest things about the resume is making sure it's accurate. If I have an accurate resume and your location's accurate, I can go ahead and take your resume and see what qualifications you have to pair you with a job that's in your experience or something that you're interested in growing into. If you're interested in a certain field, I ultimately my goal is to get you something that you want to do. That way, it's good for you and it's good for me. You're showing up to work because you're passionate about it. Kind of like me in sourcing. I enjoy sourcing, so showing up to work is something I like to do because I'm passionate about it. Just a quick example. I have a lady that had applied, and she works for a very big jewelry company, and she had applied. I asked her, hey, tell me a little bit about what you're interested in leading into in career. And she has years of experience. She's inventory trainer. She has her own store for the large jewelry company. And I let her know what we would be able to do for her. And sometimes it doesn't work, but it's good to let that know up front. Let that be known up front. That way, if there isn't something for her, she doesn't waste her time listening to my part, and I'm not wasting her time. So the best thing to do is just communicate and be upfront about what you're looking for.
Outstanding. And I know I've thrown out that communication word 5 or 6 times, but that is part of finding a job. Well, Corey, I want to thank you for stopping in here for a few minutes. It's always great to have you on the show. We're going to have to get back together and really do a deep dive in just a recruiting show sometime if you're game for that.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for listening. Have a blessed day.
And I want to thank Belmar Integrated Logistics for inviting WAOC over here today. It was a great turnout. I know that they're going to help a lot of individuals break into our industry. With that, everyone have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.